We're on a patrol. They're out there. We got the enemy, and we got 2 gun trucks going out right now. Drop your gun up. Good, come on!
When I was a kid, I had this poster of a Marine. He was a Marine recon guy. He had like camouflage paint. He had a big knife. I put it above my bed. So like every night I could look at it and I was like, this is the guy that I want to be. So, and I knew like when I walked in the recruiter's office to join the Marine Corps, I was like, I want to be a Marine. I don't need like a sales pitch. Sign me up. I want to start tomorrow. So, and then I joined. I served in the Marines from 2004 to 2008. My MOS was 0331 machine gunner. So I was the guy that would shoot like 50 cal machine guns, Mark 19s. I've done 2 tours to Iraq. My first tour was on a ship, the first time for like a 30-day deployment. My second deployment, we flew straight to Iraq and we were there for 7 months. And it was 7 months of hell. Everybody was telling you like, shit's gonna hit the fan, you're gonna die, people are gonna die. And we would get attacked and ambushed every day. Our base was attacked one time at nighttime. We were all sleeping. We got attacked from the outside. We were getting hit with mortars. One of the posts was out of ammo. It was probably about a good 400-meter run to that position. Me and my buddy, we just said, we're gonna run to that post no matter what. We're like, what are they gonna do, fire us? Like, and I just remember running full-on sprint. Bullets are just going everywhere. I remember turning the corner and the guys are like, we got no more ammo. There's 20 guys coming this way. And so me and my buddy, we were given ammo and all of a sudden on the radio, they're like, Ford, like, where are you at? And we're like, we're not in the position we were at, and we got our asses chewed. But at the same time, if we did not at that moment make a decision for ourselves to go give those guys ammo, like 20 to 50 guys could have been over the base and killed everybody. A lot of what my generation of veterans deal with is that you're going from deployment to deployment to deployment. You don't got time to fucking cry about anything. One of my best friends was shot in combat. I was on the phone with my parents Christmas Day, and so here I am, 19 years old, best friend gets shot in the face, talking on the phone with my dad, gotta go, phone gets cut off because they don't want you to say anything. You basically go back into Marine mode, like, can't cry in front of your friends. You know, you gotta go back out in a minute to fucking go back out on patrol. Like, you don't have that ability to process all that information, and you just gotta find ways to deal with it. That leads to being out of the military and stuffing it. You know, not wanting to be the weak person in front of strong people. The past couple years, I went to the ER for chest pain. And then here I am, I'm this CrossFit guy, ultra marathon runner, and I have heart issues. Talking to my primary care physician, she said, would you mind if we filled out a depression screener? And I said, no problem. And I think the score is like 28, and I scored like a 25.
Chase was in a really dark place when I first met him. When we sat down together, he was unable to recognize any kind of hope. He didn't have any motivation to want to be better. He was just, I want to say, in this like black, dark cloud.
My biggest struggle is that I don't want my kids to have to like have a dad that has all these mental problems. My irritability, my anxiety, and my stuff is being pushed onto my kids, and I don't want that. I don't want them to have to live the rest of their life with, your dad was a Marine, he was an awesome dude, but he killed himself. I don't want them to have to deal with that.
He was consistently having these suicidal ideations. He was utilizing alcohol to really cope with how he was doing. He was on many different medications that he wasn't sure was, targeting what it was supposed to. So he could find no hope. He didn't want to be alive for anybody. He didn't care anymore. And that's when he and I sat down and had the conversation of, I need something more because it's not working.
During this whole journey, I've been researching psychedelics, and there's a lot of studies of, special operations, Navy SEALs, Special Forces guys that have done these psychedelics in other countries. And so I started researching the ketamine treatment. So I've talked to the VA, and they're not doing any specific stuff with it. Found out a couple weeks ago that there's actually a place here in Howard, Wisconsin that does it, and I'm doing it. Where I'm at now is not a place where I want to be. It's not some place that's going to be sustainable. I'm at rock bottom, pretty much. All right, guys, Chase Ford here. I'm on the way to my first ketamine treatment. Rough night last night. Very nervous. Don't really know what to expect from the treatment, and kind of the unknown of the unknown. I'm starving, currently craving Burger King for some reason, but I've been fasting at a fast for, I don't know, a while, so I've had like water, black coffee.
This is not a first-line treatment. Many times the patients that I am seeing have been on anywhere from 2 to 20 or even sometimes up to 30 to 40 different medications without success. All these different types of psychiatric medications. Ketamine works in a very different way than all of those. Ketamine, it is an anesthetic agent known for its ability to help with treatment-resistant depression and PTSD and chronic pain in the early 2000s. And absolutely, there is a stigma behind it because people have abused it.
What ketamine is a synthetic compound that works as a neurotransmitter to release glutamate. And what glutamate is it helps us live in our unconsciousness. And the reason that that's so important is because it's like softens those psychological defenses. So if you think about the brain as like downhill skiing, and if you go the same route every single time, that route is going to be quick and you're going to go the same way because it's really ingrained into the slope. What that does, unfortunately, is if you are living a life of negativity, that's going to continue to happen because that's the easiest way for it to happen. However, with the glutamate receptors firing up, you're able to carve different paths. And because you're able to carve different paths, you're able to see things and experience things differently than that quick to the bottom route.
A lot of people will say after their first infusion that that initial gloom or that heaviness that they feel has been lifted off of them.
Throughout this process, in between ketamine sessions, I hope to see him really feel progress on a lot of the mental health needs that he has.
How you feeling?
Nervous. Scared.
You're gonna do great.
The treatment was 40 minutes. It takes about 10 minutes for the ketamine to get into your body. I just kept thinking like, okay, is it happening? And then once everything on the walls starts moving, and that's when you know like it's happening. I kind of expected like a movie of all of the traumas that I've experienced, but it was snapshots of one word, one theme that my body was trying to process. One of them was, being in combat, grenades flying everywhere, like chaos. My brain was trying to tell me that I need to find like peace, I need to find calmness, I need to find stillness in the chaotic life of everything.
So because he was overseas, he was constantly living in that life or death mode, and it was never shut off. So something as simple as driving his kids to school turned into avoiding IEDs. And I have noticed he's able to see now, okay, this is my anxiety rather than this is real life.
Now I have one done, now I can kind of maybe be more prepared and less anxious, and I'm excited to like maybe push the boundaries a little bit and kind of allow myself to relax a little bit more.
I'm very scared. I just kept saying, like, help me, help me.
My second treatment was the absolute worst experience I had. Coming out of it, I had like a 45-minute panic attack.
In the first one, he experienced this euphoric feeling of recognizing a change in his thought patterns. And then it got to the second session, and that's where he entered the K-hole, is what it's called.
In the ketamine treatment, I was trying to like fight for control to get out of the treatment. And I think that's what was creating the panic. My blood pressure was going off, like my heart rate monitor was like alerting. I just started like crying uncontrollably for like 45 minutes. I was very like timid and like skittish. Courtney, my wife, was there and she was like touching me, and I just wanted her to like touch me, but like don't get too close to me because I was like uncomfortable or unsure.
By talking to him on the phone and grounding him and having him breathe through his panic, he recognized that he's okay and that things are all right. You're fighting yourself through this journey, and what happened is that self, that part of you, needed to go away for you to continue moving forward.
I've been trying to control the process of my healing, where I felt like I needed to surrender my body and brain to the actual healing process of the ketamine.
He proved to himself that this life is important and it is worth living, and he can do the things in order to make that happen.
Coping mechanisms just didn't work for him. Like for a while, he was just so numb to things that he might not even have like felt. If he saw Leighton in the backyard playing baseball, like he wouldn't feel joy from that. Like he felt nothing.
Being a leader in the household, like I feel like I didn't want to bring up all these mental health issues because I didn't want everyone to feel the burden.
You know, when you're like with your significant other, it's like you celebrate things, and we didn't really get those moments for a really long time, you know, which like is hard.
But as I've gone on, I think it's done more good than harm to like share my story with other people.
And him just being overall in a better mood has opened the lines of communication, I feel like. This Chase is coming back to like the Chase that I married.
So this is actually my boot camp sea bag. So
What does this mean?
this was 2nd Battalion Marines Cap Bravo Combined Anti-Armor Team. That's the machine gunner.
Okay.
So
You'll have to scan on these.
yeah, in the middle of the night, drill instructors come on the bus and they yell at you. You're in your civilian clothes with your shaggy hair. And then they make you all stand on there and they yell at you before they walk you through the doors. My family.
Oh my gosh, I need to see this.
So giving them a tour when they came to visit me at boot camp.
Cool.
So my dad was
Your
White
dad.
Sox. And this is the cover or the hat that I wore while I served the whole time. So this one's pretty salty. Inside of here, I've been to like 13 different countries. So I was in Kuwait 2 times. I went to Crete, went to Israel. We worked with the Israeli snipers. My buddy, Lance Corporal Smith, that was shot by a sniper in the head. And this is one of my most traumatic experiences that I think of. And this is actually one of the ones that came up in the ketamine.
With the ketamine, it just put all these different details to help me kind of understand that this is more than just the traumatic event that happened. It forces you to be in that world and to look at it from a different perspective. You know, I'm being more reserved because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is making me uncomfortable. I don't want to talk about this. Where the ketamine just like forces you to do it. The 6th treatment was like pure bliss again. Everything was bright, I could see the trees, everything was awesome, you know, and it made me feel happy again. So I'm glad it ended on kind of a positive note. Even the bad ones, the second one I finally took away, maybe I needed to go through a bad session, like to teach me that, you know, in real life I can deal with adversity and rely on my coping skills, not to just give up or rely on a medication or something like that. There was a meaning behind it. I feel like overall there's been so many positives and so many amazing takeaways that I don't even want to go back to like where I was at in my head. Hopefully I can make it the 5 weeks and then try it again and then just kind of keep pushing that farther and farther. To me, this is the real test. I'm very good when it's like I have 6 sessions, they're all organized, I have therapy on these days, everything's dialed in, and now it's the unknown of just living for 5 weeks. Now's the test.
Chase, how are you doing?
Good.
Good?
Doing good overall, yeah. I've actually had like probably the best 2 days I've had like in years. I'm back to enjoying running again, which that was the major struggle in the beginning. Like I couldn't run a mile. Like I'm an ultra marathon runner and I can't put my shoes on. I have no motivation to go outside and go on the trail and run. I would say that mentality to like actually like follow through with the things that can help you is very hard. But I think the ketamine helped open my mind to that and be more receptive to the things that can heal me. Before I started the treatments altogether, my anxiety, my depression, my suicidal ideations were so intense that I just couldn't even think clearly at all. Now I'm excited to be better than I was than the last treatment. I fully trust that this is healing my brain. And I'm putting in so much extra work with my therapist and on my own that I feel like it's actually working. I want to look back on this season of my life and say like, that was really hard, but you made it out of it. This is, to me, it's not a cure-all, be-all, but it is making leaps and bounds. I can see it, my wife can see it, my therapist can see it. I'm making major jumps, so I'm excited to see like where it takes me in the future. I would say to a veteran that's watching this right now that if it's presented, I would jump on it and try it. Go in with it open-minded. The experiences are gonna bring up a lot of things that are good and bad. This style of treatment can definitely like push you leaps and bounds from where you're at right now. Best thing my therapist said to me throughout this whole experience was, instead of dying a warrior's death, live a warrior's life. Live a life of service for the people that you can impact every day and still have that same heroism and bravery and courage.